Hello all, welcome to my another course. In this course, we are going to see what is vibe coding. You might have heard this term somewhere in the social media, anywhere, right? So you might have often seen this term called vibe coding, right? So we're going to explore what vibe coding is, and of course, in this course, we are going to build a complete website using vibe coding. When I say a complete website, that is not a static website. That's a website which has a database to it, which has a domain connectivity to it, right? Which will be a full-fledged website which you can use to develop it. And for you to understand, when we learn vibe coding, that doesn't need any coding experience. So you can be an absolute non-coder. Okay, you don't need to write a single line of HTML, single line of JavaScript, Python, nothing is required. All that you need to know is just an idea on how to query the systems. That's it. So how to prompt a tool to do something for you, right? So that's the objective. Having said that, so we'll first see what tools are there for vibe coding. Basically, we have tools like Replit, Lovable, Bolt, Cursor, right? Emergent. So there are a lot of tools for doing vibe coding for developing websites or apps without writing a single line of code. And of course, in this course, we're going to see how to do vibe coding using an app called Lovable. So, what is vibe coding? Vibe coding basically means that it is a new way of coding using just prompts and natural language. When I say natural language, you just tell in a plain English what you need. All you need to know is how to give an idea, right? And then it's AI powered, which means that whatever idea that you describe, AI will build it for you. So you don't need to write any line of code. Instead of writing any syntax or debugging, you just tell the idea and it will do the things for you automatically. That is what is all about vibe coding. And why do we need vibe coding? Because it's faster. So, of course, if you take a development of a website, of a very simple website that connects to database and all, it might take some 2 to 3 days of effort at least, even with the experienced web designer or even with the experienced full stack engineer, right? It will take at least some 2 to 3 days of time to develop a complete website. But with vibe coding, you can build a complete website in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes. So you don't need to be a developer, you don't need to be a coder, programmer, nothing. So you just can be a creator, you can be a founder, you can be a student, right? So all that we need is just a curiosity to learn, and what you need is the idea, whatever you want to develop, right? So we just you have an idea and you will have the website ready for you automatically using vibe coding. And focus, of course, instead of you to learn all the programming logics, right, you can still focus only on the creativity, logic, design thinking, right? So you might have experienced some similar websites. This AI vibe coding code generation tool will build the app for you. And empowerment, so of course, if you are from a non-techie background, so even though you can build real tech solutions, and of course you can even make money out of it. So there are many vibe coded websites which are sold now, white labeled, right? So and it's available now. Okay, so that's the thing. So what is the website that we're going to build today? It's smart finance dashboard for training company, which means that, for example, assume that we are running a educational company, a training company, and whatever the expenses that occur on a daily basis, whatever the income that we receive on a daily basis, whatever the pending payments that we have to receive, are we applying any discounts? So is there any recurring expenses, right? So what is the net profit for the whole month? Is there a profit or loss? All these things I really wanted to do it, but when you use Excel, it is very hard to manage. So instead, what I'm going to do, this is more like a tally, a kind of application which I'm going to build with vibe coding. Okay, why this app? Because whatever I said to you, this cannot be tracked using spreadsheets. It's very hard, and with Excel you cannot have any alert setup, so you have to take this payment today. And of course there is no quick view for seeing the profits or for seeing dashboards, right? Which is really hard when we do things with Excel, but this can be done with vibe coding by building a website explicitly for your need. So, what are the features are available in this vibe coding app? We'll have income management, where as an admin I'll be having provision to add income, right? So, what category of income does it belong to? Maybe it's a recorded course or live course, right? And which date the amount flows in, and who is the client who paid this income. And I should be able to automatically track the income per month, per week, right? I should be able to track it timely basis, right? Expense. So whatever expense I want to do, I have to track it here. For example, I may be buying a premium subscription. For that I have to pay. For example, there is some referral amount that I have to pay, right? I have to give any discount, so I have to pay him back. Any cashbacks or any other person who has given a lead and I have to pay him, whatever it is, right? So whatever the expense that occur, I still have to track it here. And I also want to track the receivables. A payment should come, but it is not today, right? So maybe there'll be student who says that I'll pay 1,000 rupees today and then remaining I'll pay next week. Then the remaining amount, whatever you are going to collect, becomes your receivable. So this receivable we can also track here. So we can also say due date, right? So if you say next Monday, so you can set the alarm to next Monday, and next Monday you will get an alert saying that these amounts should be received to you. So we'll have such kind of alerting. And mainly dashboard. So where I don't need to go into every record and see what happened. Instead, I can see a custom dashboard where I can quickly see the total income received today, this week, this month, right? What is the net profit? What is the cash in hand? So I'll be able to see everything in this app, right? What are all the dashboards available? What are the key performance indicators available in the dashboard? We can have the total cash in hand. So how much cash is there in hand today? What is the net profit so far? What is the profit for this week, this month, or this year? How much is the pending amount that we have to receive? So all dashboards can be seen using this app. Basically, the vibe coding app will automatically build these tables. You don't need to worry about that. And there is some automation logic. Of course, we'll have some logic implemented here where we can check at 8 a.m. if there is any amount coming that need to be sent today. It can send you an email. It can send you a WhatsApp message, right? So we can even implement like this. But of course, we're going to see everything in the course, right? So that's it. Everything has been covered, and now we'll get our hands dirty. We'll directly go to the tool and build the app for us. First, we have to tell the idea what do we want to build, right? So I have opened ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will help me to write clear prompt that I can give to the vibe code tool to get the app ready. GPT. I have an extension called Whisper Flow enables. I don't need to type things explicitly, so I can even talk, and you can see typing here. I'll do this and then I'm going to talk, right? So you see here while I'm talking, there is a flow icon running which will automatically capture whatever I spoken. Once I stop, I'll see the text here. That's amazing. So let me talk what I want to do as a part of this vibe coding app. I wanted to build a vibe coding app with the tool called Lovable. The app is basically a smart expense manager. So what I want as a part of this app is I want to track the expenses, I want to track the income, I want to track the pending payments, I have to track all these things, right? So in a simplified app, it has to take just one login called admin, which should be controlled like ID and password. Once I get in, it has to ask me what am I going to log. When I say that I want to log expense, I want the app to ask me what kind of expense should I put there, right? Basically, what is the date that should be defaulted to today's date, but of course, I should be able to edit the value as well. Then it should ask the client mail ID, client phone number. Again, the client name is mandatory, but email ID and phone number should be optional. And then it should ask me what is the amount that has come in, and that should also have one more field, right, which says just an OK button. So once I hit the OK button, that should be added to the database, to the table, whatever it is, right? And second thing, if there is an expense, I want to have it like what kind of expense it is, what date does it flow, who is the client I want to pay the expense, and what is the category of expense, right? I have to capture every information. Of course, in income also, I want to capture what is the source of income, maybe like a recorded course, like a live course, right? So some kind of custom drop down, and if no values are found in the drop down, I should be able to add values newly as well. Okay, so that's what I want. Basically, you're getting it right. So first is the income, second is the expense, and third is the pending payments. So where I should be able to mention what is the client and how much should he pay, and what is the deadline for that, and what is the time I want it to be alerted, right? So I want all this information as a part of receivables or a pending payment. And fourth thing, I should be able to see a dashboard, right? So when I click the dashboard, I should be able to track the total income, the total expense, so the total cash in hand, total profit or total loss for the month, right? So what is the breakdown? For example, if I choose a date range from for 2 weeks, then I should see in 2 weeks how much money came in, how much money went out, right? So all these things I should be able to track in this expense manager app. So I want the UI to be neatly designed, professionally designed, and as I said you, so this whatever script you give, I'll directly give to Lovable, and it has to build it for me in one shot. So I want all the details, whatever tables you create, whatever the UI thing, the styles that you say for UI. I want everything to be automatically written in this prompt. I'll just copy the prompt and give to Lovable, and it has to build the app for me. Thank you. So guys, now we have seen I have talked so much, right? So if I have to type all these things, it would have taken at least some 15-20 minutes of my time, but within 2 to 3 minutes I have dictated whatever I want to do. And of course this app called Whisperflow will automatically convert the natural language to text, right? I have the text here, it has captured everything. So I'll click submit in ChatGPT, okay? And so ChatGPT started thinking, and in a couple of minutes that should be able to give me a complete prompt that I can give to Lovable, okay? It says generating a prompt for Lovable app, so it automatically understands Lovable is an app, right? And then it is adding the details. In a matter of a few seconds we should be able to see what it has generated. So here it says, here is a copy paste Lovable prompt. Scroll down, it is now generating the content, the prompt for Lovable app. The project title is Smart Expense Manager Vibe Coding. What is the tech stack? Next.js, Prisma ORM. What kind of auth do we need? What kind of styling do we need? What kind of UX do we need? Time zone, currency, right? So what is the default admin email, default admin password, right? What are the tables that it has to create, right? So it has given everything. As I said, I want a single prompt. If I give the prompt, that should get the app ready for me, right? So it does everything: authentication, navigation, what pages should be there, right? So we need a page for a dashboard, we need a page for income, we need a page for the expense, pending payment, contact, categories, settings, right? It has captured everything. And of course, for every page, again, for dashboard, what fields should be there and how that should work. For income, so what fields should be there and how that should work. For the expense, it has captured pending payments, contacts, categories, settings. It has everything right from the user interface, right from the database, from the backend coding, right from the style. Everything is captured now. You can see here, I don't want to do anything. I just simply copy this entire prompt, which is a very long prompt. I don't know if Lovable will accept this long prompt. Anyway, I'll give it a try. I'll copy this prompt and open the app called Lovable. If you create an account, you'll be given 5 free credits for a day, and the credits will automatically renew every day. Okay, so today 5 credits, and if you use all 5 credits for today, then tomorrow again 5 credits. So ideally, in a matter of 3 to 4 days, you'll be able to build a complete app. That's where Lovable stands out. I'll try to paste this to see if I can paste it completely. You see here, it is given till multi-tenant logic required. So the last line, right? I think the prompt is taken completely. I'll even check the first line. It says we build prompt. So ideally, the whole text, right? It is accepted in a single prompt. I just click on the submit here. The Lovable will set up the environment. It will write all the codes for us. It will create a preview for us to see what's happening. So there is some advertisement going on here where it says some Shopify kind of app can be built with Lovable, but of course because this is still in thinking mode, so you don't see any code here. See, so if it want any backend connectivity, right? So Lovable has its own database integrated. You click on this allow button whenever it prompted. So basically, it will create the tables for you, right? I click on allow because it asked I want to build in backend. I want to add LLM to your app. I don't know why is a need for LLM, but basically, and then I want to put it to start pay as you scale. So whatever it is, I said ask each time, right? Now I'll create a professional admin console with a clean design and full expense tracking functionality. It is still not started the work. There are several tabs here. There is a preview, there is a cloud icon, there is a code icon. Right? If you see this code icon, this is where it will write all the code. There is a search section where we can search any part of code if required. And there is analytics which you can ignore for now. So I'll go back to this code to see if it's writing some code. But basically it starts in the backend first. So we call it a model first approach. Okay. So where first it has built up all the database you see here. It has created some tables. It has modified the table, right? It is automatically approved. You see here whatever the database scripts that we given, it will execute, right? If you want to see the tables, you can click on this plus icon and see where is the database. I click on this close and see if there is a database. I click on cloud. I click on code. I click on security. I click on speed. I should be able to see everything. There are options to disable or enable this, right? I think database we would not be able to see right now, but once everything is done, we should be able to see that. I'll open this, click this go to dashboard. You can see this app is now being built, which is the Vibe expense tracker. It has created all the tables, and it says that now I'll create authentication system and main application structure with all the pages. If you go to code, within a couple of minutes, we should be able to see some codes running here, right? It also take a screenshot of errors. It will automatically try to solve the errors, right? It also test your code. So of course everything is done automatically, right? So it says I have built a expense manager with a clean design, right? When it's ready, oh okay, what's ready? So it says, yeah, see here, we can see the complete code, right? So it says it has built it completely. Whatever time it took is less than 5 6 minutes. Everything is now done. If you want to see the backend, we can click this button, view backend. It has a database. We see these tables are created right now, right? You click on overview, you click on preview. See, we got the app now, right? And you remember, so that has given a default admin ID and password. I'll copy that to see how this apps looks like. I don't know. Where is it? I'll try to copy that. Yeah, it has the admin email, right? I believe it will be taken in account for Lovable as well. And then we said this is the default password for admin. So I'll copy and paste it and click on sign in. It says invalid credentials. So I don't know how to log in as an admin. So what if I have doubts, right? I can directly go to the app itself. Okay. There is a chat section. Click on that and say, what is the admin? So I click on chat and put this. So basically when you hit on chat, right, it won't build anything, but it will respond. So it understands a question, and of course I'm expecting an answer from Lovable, right? So it reads the database for us, right? Some kind of entry, some kind of SQL query, and see that this is the ID and password. However, there is no default admin account must default created, right? So I think it has taken this in account, but basically did not create the admin account so far, right? So it is asking me, it is giving me two options, whether you want to manually create via backend or create through sign up flow. I'll go with option one because it can create something, right? So I would say go with option one, right? So what I expect this app is to automatically create an admin account for me. See, I'll create an edit function to initialize admin yourself. You don't need to worry about what it is doing, but it will handle everything. You just need to see if it matches your requirement. If not, you have to exactly tell what is required. That's it. I think it said that there is an admin function created, right? To create admin user, open a browser console and run this script. So then log in with this. Open your browser console and run. So I'll copy this. When it says browser console, you have to click on F12, right? That's what the console is. And when you type something in console for the first time, it will ask you to allow pasting, and then you paste the code and hit enter, right? So I think this has initialized the admin things. Okay, and now I think I should be able to log in here. I'll take this admin, paste it here, take the password and paste it here, click sign in. Right, yeah, I'm inside, right? The neat app has been designed for me, right? So it has a clean dashboard, the tab for adding income, the tab for adding expense, the tab for pending payment, contact, categories, settings, everything. So we'll test it out how this works. It did not add any form, it just built a layout, but the actual forms are not there. I'll tell Lovable, I'll capture this and say, let's ignore this. Okay, so we are here. So where I will exactly tell Lovable what has been done and what is pending. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll open my snipping tool, take a screenshot of this, go back to the tool, paste the screenshot and say the fonts are missing in the UI. This Lovable app wipe code up will automatically open the screenshot, see what is there, understand whatever I have typed, and it will fix everything right in front of us. Okay. So it says that I'll implement the income form and history table for you, right? See, it's implementing now, and you see here, this has been done within a matter of some 15 to 20 seconds, right? There is a amount section, right? And there is a date section, date picker controls. You can even scroll to any date, and contact is empty because I think we did not add any contact. There is a category, and I can choose any category. There is a payment method, how did they pay? Notes, add income, and income history is not there. I'll try to add something. I'll say 1000 and say contact is not there, so I'll go to contact first to check this. So even contact form is not there. So build forms similarly for contact, expense, pending payments, categories, etc. Even there is a spell mistake, it's not at all a problem, so it will automatically understand whatever we typed. So now I'm asking Lovable to build the forms for all other things, right? So because for income we have a form, but if we go to expense, it is currently empty. So I'm asking it to build a form for that. In pending payment, it is still empty. Categories, it is still empty. So I'll put that also. And contact, right? So contact also mentioned, right? So it says all forms has been implemented with validation, date picker, CRUD operation, everything. So I'll check that. So expenses, of course, I have a form ready. Pending payment, we have a form ready. Contact, a ready-made form. Categories, of course, it's there. And settings, it's everything there. Okay, it is so nice. I'll try to create a contact, a dummy contact. Okay, I'll say test client. There is another option called client or vendor. That's okay. And say test at test.com. And I will say the phone number and say add contact. But I think I have asked it to have this contact where I also wanted to keep email ID, phone number. Yeah, that's there. Okay. So that's all. Now I'll go to income and say I received some 1500 rupees today from the contact test, so whatever contact we created test that appears here. Category live course, he paid by UPI and say still need to take pending payment of rupees 3500. I just put a comment and add income. Now you see that whatever income we added is already displaying here. There is no direct connection to pending payment. So if I say a statement like this, I have to add something there. So I'll go to pending payment and say 3500. That's from test. Due date is Wednesday. Remind me at Tuesday, right? And then I would say add receivable. We say someone has been added, so ideally I should get some reminder. I don't know where is the reminder functionality, but basically the receivable has been added here, right? Now I'll also add an expense. I'll say 5,000, and this is salary. So what I'll do first, the expense, right? I need another category. There is expense, marketing, contract, software, travel. I need another category. I'll say trainer, salary. That's an expense. I'll add a category. Now I go back to categories and see in the expense and see if that is available. See, it has added now. I'll say some 10,000 rupees. I am selecting the date of expense as today. So he is not from any of these categories. So we want to exactly tell whom I am sending this payment to. So I'll go to contact and say trainer, and only two things are appearing, right? There is no way to manage roles. So I'll request Lovable. There is no way to add or customize roles in contacts form. Either provide an option to type in any new role immediately, or provide a role management functionality, category management functionality where we can add or remove category, right? So in that way I want the role also to be added or removed, right? So I'm giving the prompt here. So Lovable has taken this prompt as well, and of course it'll think through, right? I have asked him to decide automatically, so I don't want to explicitly say this is what you have to do. I should have a provision to directly put some ad hoc value or categories. I want a way to customize the role. Okay, I think it has selected second option. It is asking to allow to create some entries in the table. I clicked allow. In the table called contact, it has added a column called role, and there is another query altering some other column also. That's okay. So don't worry if you're a hardcore SQL developer, you can go through query to understand. But basically, 90% of the time, whatever it delivers should be readily acceptable. So there should not be any issues, right? So I'll wait for it to complete. It is done. It said migration successful, right? And I'll go to contact. See, there is no way to add here. The categories, there is no way to add roles. Okay, it is still thinking, right? See, now this is fully done. I'll go to contact, roles, right? So this is so nice, right? So I can either type a role from here or I can type whatever it is. I'll say trainer is a role, right? And I would say trainer, right? And say trainer at standskill.com and the mobile number. Let's say +91 99 88 whatever it is. I'll put some number and say add a contact. Right now I have added a trainer, right? I'll go to expenses, put the expenses 10,000 for the contact trainer for a salary, and I said UPI, and I would say salary for October, right? Add an expense, right? So of course, guys, so it is so nice. So we have added an income, we have added an expense, we have added a pending payment, we added a contact. Now it is time for us to see the dashboard, how that looks like. So let us click the dashboard, and there this is not refreshing, right? So what I'll do, I'll again open the snipping tool, click new, and I will select everything and paste it here. Okay, the dashboard is not functioning, right? Make sure you capture everything here, right? So I did not do any coding here. It's all the prompt that I give, not even a technical prompt, just as I talk to you, right? That's a very simple prompt, right? Even I don't put even a single line of code, right? I just put in plain English and it understands automatically. Yes, this has built it so nicely. You see, the total income that we received is 1,500. The total expense is 10,000, and cash in hand is minus 8,500. So I have more expense than income, and it is a loss of 1,500, 8,500. That is so nice, and also I have an upcoming receivable of rupees 3,500, which is also captured here in dashboard, which is pretty good, right? So nice. But I feel something is missing here, right? I also asked it to have a time bound dashboard, right? If I select a range of days, I want a dashboard for that specific range alone, right? So that is still missing. So let it complete, then I will prompt that accordingly. I don't know why it's thinking for so long. I can better click the show all button to see what it is thinking. I don't know. There's nothing here, right? So it's just a dashboard. I don't know why it is thinking for so long. Maybe if you have doubts, you can even ask questions here, right? So I'll again say, are you struck? Right? So I'll even put the question and send it. No. Okay. So it says not at all, right? Now it says the dashboard is fully functional with all the information, right? Now we have it. And now I said you, I'll discuss that. I need the dashboard for a time control way, right? I'll use this whisper flow for now. I asked this dashboard to be time controlled where I should be able to select any time range and I should be able to see all the expense, all the income, all the pending receivables for that time frame specifically. But whatever dashboard I see here is full view. Can you make those customizations available for me? I have talked something and see we have the text here. I click submit. So now it says it will add a date range selector to dashboard so you can filter the data by custom time periods, right? Now it says current month. It is fully done. I'll choose this month and say last month. There is nothing for last month. That's okay. I say custom range and choose a range from October 15 to October 31. Right? It is fully dynamic. See, as and when you make changes, it is automatically reflecting the recent changes, right? But I don't know when I choose 15 to November 1st, I see 0, but that's wrong basically, right? So whatever the cash inflow happened is on November 1st, right? I'll say November 2 and see. Okay, so it is taking a less than, right? When I say November 2, right, then only it is taking today's date. That's okay, but still not so correct. So if I received a payment on November 1st, that should appear when I choose November 1st itself here, right? I would say the in custom range, the end date is working as less than or to the start of the hour or the start of the day, right? By default, I want the start time to be from 00 and end time to be 23:59, right? So what I meant is if an expense is made on November 1st and if I choose end date as November 1st, I should see the data in dashboard, right? So being very simple English, right? I mentioned this. But otherwise, I feel that this is so cool. So it is also fixing the date range issue. After a couple of minutes, I should be able to see the changes here, right? It is editing. I think it is completed now, right? It says fixed and it is saving changes. I'll click on November 1st now and see, of course, it has taken it completely, right? It's so nice. But if you say October 31st, I should not see that because there is nothing. But if you say November 1st, I'm seeing this. If I say starting date as a November 1st, it should still work. Yes, it is. This is so cool, right? What I also wanted is that instead of building everything from scratch, even if you want to make changes, I can still do it. When I'm adding a contact, I want another field like what is the source of contact, right? I would say in contact, I want source as well, which should accept dynamic text, but that should be master data content, right? So when I say master data content, it should not be duplicated basically, right? So I want this, right? In content, I want to add the source as well, right? And I would click on submit. What I'm expecting is that when we add a new contact, there should be some field called source, which should have a drop down like the role, right? I can type something dynamically and it should be taken as the source, right? I can say this vendor given the contact, or through Facebook this contact reached me, right? Or any friend referred, right? So I'll be able to provide information. So I'll be able to check that whenever needed. Nice, it says successful. It should refresh the page now automatically. Everything is now stored in a temporary application. You see here, it still says lovable dev, right? So it is not published. And if you wanted to take it live, we have to click this publish button. Great, there's a source, and of course, there are options. I can add a new source, or I can choose something here. Nice. I would say add a new source. I would say any name. I would say Ketan and say add source, and that came here. That is so cool, and things are fine. So I would now go ahead to publish the app. I'll click on this publish, right? So if you have any custom domain, you can connect to it. For example, if you already purchased a domain, you can already connect to it, right? But if at all, if you want the hosting to be done by Lovable itself, you can still do it. There is a modified database query it's asking. I would add this query. Plus, there are some security issues also. This will usually happen whenever we publish something, right? So it will check if there are ways for attacking, if there are any leaking of information, right? So it will validate everything, right? So it is successful. Now it is saying there is one security error. I'll click on review. It says that all users can see each other's client contact information, which is not expected. So it is still editing the form. I will leave it to complete, and whatever security update, it can be updated for free, which means that it will not eat any token. So directly let me wait for this to complete and then I will update this. In the meantime, I'll show you how to connect it to a different website, right? So if I'll go to my Day account, so that's where I have a website called standskill.com. So I log into my account. I would say login, right? I should be able to see all my hosted websites here. That is standskill.com, right? I want to publish this as a subdomain. I don't want to buy a new domain, but I want to publish this as a subdomain. Even it's updating the security issues, it's fixing automatically. Let's give it time to complete. I will click this update free. I believe this issue should be fixed now. It says it's complete. I think all the issues has been solved now. I don't know. Still, it says there's an error, right? So I would say try to fix all for free. Again, I click this button. It is asking to allow for a specific database modification. So, what were the suggestions, right, for the errors and warnings? It's even okay for us to ignore. So there is no problem. But it is better that we react to it because those will lead to a financial loss or a data loss, right? Or a hacking kind of thing. So basically, it is always better to respond to them to solve the issues. Okay, so this has been fixed now. You see that the critical issue has been fixed, right? And there is just warnings, there is no errors, so that's okay for us to continue. There is some security scan which is out of date. Basically, it requires a bit of patience, right? This app, as I said, you if this is developed by a full stack engineer or a web developer, it would easily take some 3 to 4 days of effort for him to complete this. But of course, this iPutting tools is doing this for in less than 1 hour. That's the maximum that I could say, even though it covers not only development but also the fixtures, the improvements, right? So everything it takes a matter of 1 hour. So ideally, we really need patience to see what it says, to respond to it. So that is mostly required here. And whatever I say, right, that's mostly applicable to this lovable app only. Of course, we'll see the next course where we'll do a similar app in Replit, which is totally autonomous. It will not ask us any question. It will start from the beginning, complete till the end. It will automatically test. It will automatically fix the issues, take code review suggestions, fix them, right? So even that we will see in the next video. But Lovable is semi-autonomous, right? So we have to explicitly say what it has to do in every step. Okay. Now this is fully done. I'll click on publish, and say either I can publish to custom domain or a name. So it is flat for lovable app. That's okay. I can give my name. I would say I think we could not change the name, or it's allowed. I can give a name like this and I click this green tick. That will be the app name. I can do that, or I can connect to custom domain. I need both options. Here I say standstill expenses and click on. So this will be the domain. I can open the domain. You see here we have to publish it, so that's okay. Also, I'll connect it to custom domain. I'll click on custom domain and say add to existing domain, connect domain, and here I have to say the custom domain, right? So it says you can either choose domain name.com or you can say subdomain domain name.com. So I would say this as expenses. How can I call that? I would call this as money. Okay, money dot com or revenue, whatever it is. But I feel the name money.stamskill.com is looking nice, right? So I would say money.stamskill.com. So basically, this money is a subdomain and stamskill.com is a main domain. And I have already purchased this domain called stamskill.com. So I click on connect domain. Now it automatically recognize that it is a subdomain, right? It is asking me to click on continue. The provider is GoDaddy. I have to click this authorize it with GoDaddy. So it automatically does a handshake with GoDaddy. There are some fields that it will automatically add for you. Basically, it will do a handshake and say you have successfully enabled and the process has finished. So now it says money.stamskill.com is configured. However, you cannot open this website right away. It will take up to 48 hours, but within 2 to 3 hours, this subdomain will be pointed to you. I click on done. Alright, I click on close, custom domain. Alright, it is already added. Money.stamskill.com it is setting up. Right, but that's okay. So I'm going here to publish. Right, publish. So once I publish, this app will be ready for anyone to use in the whole world. Anyone can open the app and use it for their need. Okay. So this is done, right? Customer is still setting up, so we don't need to worry about that. Now I'll open this thing, standskill expenses.lovable.app. That's a website, that's a domain added, right? And then I can access it. I would say it has a default admin ID and password. It should be in the beginning. Yes. So this admin at local.test. The password is admin at 12345. I would paste it. Cool, right? Now it is a full-fledged app for us to track all the expenses. So now we have seen how to build a complete app using Lovable, right? What does the settings mean for, right? There is nothing here. That's totally fine. You can even try to sign out, right? So what we have seen now is how to build a vibe coded app using an app called Lovable. The next video we'll see a similar vibe coded app, right, or the same app using a tool called Replit. Thank you.